Hey everyone, Tom Butwin here for Premier Guitar, and today we're talking about what I would consider to be one of the best secret weapons for a songwriter, and that is a capo, but not just any capo. These are partial capos. I've got two examples here from Shubb capos, the C7 and the C8. They're both slightly different. They do a couple different things, and you can use them together if you want to get really crazy. We're going to do that here in just a minute. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel so you don't miss anything in the future. For the purposes of transparency in this video and to prove to you that these capos are incredibly inspiring, I have not rehearsed or planned out any of the things that I'm going to play. Now, some of you are going to say, yeah, that's obvious. I say, that's cool because these are very inspiring and I'm demonstrating in real time at some point, you're not watching this live, but in real time that they are inspiring, and I think they will inspire you as well. So when I say secret weapon for songwriting, if you've written a song, whether it be instrumental or a music bed for lyrics or a melody you have in mind, you know that there comes a point where you feel like you've run out of ideas. Now you can go into the world of alternate tunings, of course. That requires you to retune your guitar. And we're always looking for practical solutions to enhance our creativity. It'd be nice if you could do something that gets sort of close to an alternate tuning without having to retune your guitar for two reasons. One, you don't have to retune your guitar. And two, if you end up coming up with a song that is legit something you're going to play live, it's really nice to be able to not have to retune your guitar or grab another guitar on stage. You can just simply add one of these Shubb capos and get to your brand new, innovative song idea. So the first partial capo we're going to take a look at from Shubb is the C8. Now this is going to cover 5 of your 6 strings, and you can choose how you want to arrange this. The most common way I think that this would be used is if you go to the 2nd fret, put the partial capo on and leave it so that your low E string, if you're in standard tuning, is ringing open. There's actually a space between the capo and where you would normally have the capo fretting your E string at the 2nd fret. What this allows you to do now is to simulate drop D, really we're in E of course, but a drop D style tuning without having to retune your guitar. So all of a sudden now you can grab a D chord or a D chord shape and you get all that nice ringing, droning bass that you're used to in drop D, but in the key of E, and of course with the timbre and tension on that low E string that you're used to. The other way you can use the C8 is you can flip it around and go from underneath the neck here. What you're going to do here is you're going to allow the high E string to ring free as opposed to the low E string. So now you can get all those fun, droning, high E notes across familiar chord shapes. It really opens up a nice palette across the guitar. And again, these are very easy to use. You adjust the tension like you would on any Shubb capo, which you know and love. You probably have one of the full-size ones that covers the entire fretboard. Same operation here. You just have to choose whether you want to have the low E ringing or the high E ringing. And you can get creative too. You don't have to just use this on the 2nd fret. Secondly, we have the C7 partial capo, and you'll notice that this pad here is getting shorter and shorter. On this capo, you are now only covering 3 of the 6 strings. And again, you have a choice. First up, if you go underneath this way, let's say put it at the 2nd fret. Again, you can put these anywhere, but I'm just starting around here. Now, that is a familiar chord shape, or at least it should be to you. This is going to make, you guessed it, an A chord, but you don't have to use your finger to make that A chord. Now you're allowing yourself the ability to treat this in a very different way with all these droning notes, and you can play something in the key of A, already you're in new territory and you're probably playing things that you ordinarily would not be playing. So if you flip the C7 over, you now cover 3 different strings. Originally we were covering the D, G, and B strings, and now we're covering the A, D, and G strings. This gets you close to what could be considered sort of a DADGAD style tuning. Of course, it's not DADGAD because we haven't retuned our guitar. We're still in typical standard tuning, but it gives you that vibe now, sort of in the key of E, and you don't have to retune your guitar. Now, if you want to get really crazy, you can combine both of these. You could even go get a regular capo if you want and throw it behind some of these partial capos to really get out there. But what I'm doing here is I'm putting the C8 at the 2nd fret so that the low E is ringing, and then I'm going to put the C7 all the way up here. So if you can imagine, this is like where your finger would be for an E bar chord, and just kind of mess around up here. You can already see it sounds a lot different than your guitar normally does. Kind of fun. So when it comes to the songwriter's secret weapon to break out of writer's block, a partial capo or 2 partial capos can absolutely help you do that. At the very least, the C7 and C8 from Shubb is going to allow you to come up with some very interesting guitar parts that you ordinarily would not have come up with. Certainly it's going to force you to play differently, which is never a bad thing. We usually have habits that we get into. I know I do. You pick up a guitar, you kind of play the same thing, you go to the same places that you're comfortable. Get out of your comfort zone and try a partial capo. You will not regret it. Once again, my name is Tom Butwin here for Premier Guitar, and I will catch you in the next one.